Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers and our review of the new HOKA Arahi 7. Now this is a stability shoe designed to deliver protection and cushioning for your longer runs. The update here is a minor one. All the midsole stability elements remain unchanged against the Arahi 6, but the uppers have been tweaked to do what upper tweaks kind of always do, attempt to provide better lockdown, more breathability and better comfort. So has it worked, and is this the stability shoe you need in your rotation? Well, watch on to find out. So quick details then. Well, the Arahi 7 has a 37 mils in the heel and 32 mils in the forefoot for a 5 mil drop in the men's, 34.29 in the women's, also for a 5 mil drop. It weighs in at 273 grams or 9.7 ounces in my UK men's 8.5 test shoe size. On price, you'll pay £130 in the UK, $145 in the US. That's actually that's $5 more expensive than the Arahi 6. Let's give you a quick shoe Whipround then, starting with that familiar unchanged midsole. You've still got a compression moulded EVA midsole like you had on the Arahi 6 that's tuned towards the firmer side to help deliver that reliable support. You also got an early stage meta rocker here to smooth transitions from landing to takeoff, and there's HOKA's J-frame support technology, essentially a J-shaped sweep of firmer foam that runs down the shoe to combat overpronation without adding extra stiffness or weight. Up top is where the changes come though, with the new zonally engineered flat knit upper, and that aims to improve the midfoot lockdown on this shoe. It's quite thick and sort of engineered compared to the lighter uppers on the previous gen. There's no messing around here with the laces, they're nicely robust. Doesn't look like they're going to break here. Very easy to get a good closure across the midfoot with those. There's a plusher tongue that's nicely padded quite the way down, sort of right down into the midfoot. There's some midfoot gillies, whatever they are. Answer in the comments below, I don't know. Stretchy gusset tongues here too to stop the tongues moving around. The heel collars are medium padded, and that's a bit thicker in the heel kickback at the rear than they are on the sidewalls. Flip them over and you've got Durabrasion rubber outsole here for grip and durability, and they're a little bit mucky because I've run in them a lot. Oh, also they come in regular and wide options. We tested the regular size for this review, and more coming up on that fit next. Fit then, and I ran in a UK 8.5, which is a US 9. That's my regular running shoe size in most brands, and generally what I'd run in for HOKA shoes. The fit initially felt a bit tight when I first put the shoes on. There's not a lot of room here. That did ease off after a few runs and a bit of tweaking with the lacing and the sort of tongue positioning, but overall I found the toe box quite narrow and the foothold in these shoes to be quite snug. I had no problems with that at all, but if you like a roomier or what fit, or you've got wide feet, then I think I'd definitely consider the wide option in these shoes, or maybe even going half a size up, particularly if you're planning to run long miles in them. Run test then, I've done 30 plus miles in the Arahi 7, mainly easy, some faster, mostly on road, but a good chunk on uneven river paths to test that stability element. Aside from a slightly narrow initial feeling, stepping comfort here is pretty good. Your feet certainly feel well held, and the heels and midfoot lockdown I found to be nicely secure. There's good padding in the heel collar here which holds and supports nicely. Now once I got moving, the ride initially felt very firm, and I like a firm shoe. There wasn't a lot of give here at all, and I could feel the road coming up through the bottom of that midsole on those early miles. There's a stiffness and a rigidity early on. Now I'd just come from testing the New Balance SC Elite V4 and some of the max cushion dailies like the Nova Blast 4, the Nimbus 26, the Ghost Max, the Kiono 30. So maybe that made it feel more pronounced here going into a shoe like this, but this isn't your soft pillowy Nimbus or New Balance 1080 V13. And even though that compression EVA midsole softened as I clocked more miles in them, and you will have a breaking in period with these shoes, I think the firmness or the cushioning is closer to some of the ultra shoes that I've run in recently, like the Forward Experience perhaps, than the softer cushion stability shoes like the Kiono 30. There's not much sink here into the midsole, but that along with the stiffness might open the shoe up to some faster efforts as well. You get a bit of stiffness which kind of can help for up-tempo efforts. Now I wouldn't choose it for up-tempo efforts necessarily, but that stiffness does give it some of that capability, a bit like you get in the Forward Experience, which is good to have in a stability shoe. Now the Arahi aims to deliver reliable landings, wobble-free and consistent, and that is what you get. The rolling transitions here are helped by the rocker And the more I ran in them, the more balanced I think the ride felt. It reminded me a little of the road version of some of Innovate's trail rides, you know, like the lightweight sort of 280s that you get with the Innovates, where things are firm but the shoes are light enough that you sort of drop into a clip, and once you're moving you don't quite notice that firmness if you're moving right. For me, this is another of those shoes that do just about enough to soften the road, to give it long mile capacity, but you have to be clipping along and paying attention to your foot turnover. The lighter and faster you're turning over your feet, the better this shoe feels when you're moving. Now, if you move like that, I think this shoe pays you back with a good flowing ride that's lighter than you imagine. It's not going to forgive all the sins of like a heavy-footed plod over long distances. I think it comes up a little firm and direct for that, you know, over 90 minutes. However, you can't quibble with the stability here. Every step felt assured and secure, but not forced. There's a good natural ride to them. Even on the cut-up river paths that I ran on, I had confidence in each landing. And so I like this as a kind of, you know, quite a snappy but stable shoe. Verdict then, and I think this is a solid stability shoe, a ride that's sort of a firmer, more stable Clifton, and I think definitely draws comparisons here with the ride of things like the Ultravia Olympus or the Forward Experience. You're not going to get much spring and energy, and there's a stiffness and a firmness to the midsole ride and landings that might not float everyone's boat. But then if you need stability, you probably don't want whacking great wedges of wobbly foam firing all over the shop anyway. Reliable and predictable is what you need, and these serve that up nicely. Overall, there's a good balance here, a lightness and comfort on the foot with just about enough protection for longer runs. Though I think there's actually like a 90-minute sweet spot here for me. I'm not sure I'd want to go longer in it. I much prefer, though, this shoe's directness and precision to the heavier, bulkier, bigger, softer stack that you get with something like the Gel Kayano 30, but softer shoe fans maybe won't. I also think it's pretty keenly priced when you look at it, and overall, if you want a stability shoe that's a bit more direct, a bit firmer, a bit more minimal by comparison to some of those other big hulking great stability shoe, this is a good option. So there you have it. That has been my review of the HOKA Arahi 7. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you did. Yeah, subscribe as well. I've just said that, but do it. Subscribe, say it again. If you fancy hearing when new content arrives on the channel, you have to subscribe. That's how it works. Now, if you're interested in stability shoes, there is a review of the Asics Gel Kayano 30 on the channel about now. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again soon on the Run Testers. Happy running, people.